ahora sí, vamos con nuestra speaker. Ella es Regan Donoghue. Nos estará acompañando. Ella lleva más de 20 años trabajando en experiencias, reinventándose cómo, dónde y por qué trabajamos. Es fundadora de Futurian, una firma de estrategia en inteligencia artificial. Además, trabaja en Wayma, la empresa de vehículos autónomos de Google. Ha trabajado remodelando y transformaciones de Uber, Dropbox y Meta. Mejor dicho, estamos con una muy buena charla con Regan. La invito a que siga. La charla de ella se llama La Quinta Inteligencia, recuperando nuestro superpoder humano en la era de inteligencia artificial. Y esta es patrocinado por Cubic. Un aplauso para Regan.
Thank you. Gracias. Hola. That's about all I have. Sorry. I will be fun, I promise. And this is the scariest slide that I have. So, AI, or IA, will not replace humans. But humans who understand and use AI will. Okay? So, how many people have been on the phone trying to get to an agent? Anybody? Raise your hands. Yes? Okay. Why? Why, Daniel, were you trying to get to an agent? I don't like the computer. You didn't like the computer. Was it frustrating? Did it not understand what your needs were? And it kept saying, oh, sorry, I don't understand. Oh, sorry, I don't understand. So, what's going on here? This is a point that AI has been fired from lots of jobs already, okay? I fired AI on this job. If you notice the guy with 3 arms, not 2. So it just goes to show that AI is not here yet. So a few jobs that AI has been fired from, IBM Watson, it was in healthcare, and it was giving the wrong recommendations to the doctors. So they said, we're sorry, Watson, after $4 billion investment, IBM Watson was fired. That was in 2022, so that happened recently. And we also had an AI bot, chatbot, that was helping out with a eating disorder hotline. So for people calling in, having trouble to eat, take care of themselves, but it was recommending a diet plan and to lose weight. So AI was kind of a little bit behind on this empathy, understanding human needs. And so while I can't talk about my main client that I work with, this might give you a hint. I'm sharing their competitor, okay? Because I can always talk about the competitors. This company is called Cruise. Cruise is a driverless car. Raise your hand if you've ridden in a driverless car. Robotaxi. Anybody? Do you know what it is? No humans, yes. Okay. This one was pulled over by the cops. He got in trouble. So, and again, it's my company's competitor, so it's okay. We can talk about them. So guess what it did? Drove off. It fled the cops. It said, and it didn't know what to do. It freaked out. This IA computer programming, caught on camera, fled the police. So, I am here to argue that I think that what's in our brains, hey, how you doing, is so much more powerful than what we have in our most powerful machines, AI, okay? Now, granted, AI is 24/7, right? Nonstop. It has like a PhD, and it has more computer processing than we will ever imagine. So why do I think that humans are more powerful? What can we bring as a species to make us superior to any other species, including AI? Our superpower is our story. It's our culture, as Daniel said earlier, and our shared beliefs, okay? It started so long ago. It started through telling our stories over campfires and connecting as humans collectively. These humans back in the day figured out how to defeat the woolly mammoth or the saber-toothed tiger, not alone, but collectively together, because they would tell stories about the hunt. They would tell stories about the gathering. Don't eat that berry, you'll die. So back then, being isolated and being kicked out of your tribe was certain death if you didn't have your tribe and your people. So, how do we get these strangers, these people who don't know each other, to collaborate at massive scale? Does anyone feel any emotions towards a football team in this room? Anyone get excited? Either good or bad. This may or may not be your team. But what brings thousands of people together that don't know each other? They might not even be friends, but they collectively agree together. They have the shared belief in this brand, in this team, in this belief. And it is so much more powerful than AI could ever be. And we didn't build these cities off of spreadsheets or efficiency. We built companies off of brands. And what is a brand anyways? So there is a book, Sapiens, I was talking with Daniel about, that Yuval Noah Harari says, brands is just a belief. What a brand is what you make of it. I don't want the ladies in this room to get upset because your Louis Vuitton bag is a shared brand and belief. Why do you think they can knock them off so easily? Or whatever high-level brand you can imagine. It's not because it's the best that there can be. It's because that brand has either earned your trust, it's built something fantastic and innovative and exciting, or it's done something to make you want to be a part of it. So this all goes back to what we talked about and coining it today as ancient intelligence. The culture, our stories, our wisdom. Humans are wise. We know how to help AI because we have that moment when we're on the phone as the agent to say, oh, you need help, you're not okay, you're not happy with us right now. But as it always happens, new technology scares people. So, does anybody know who this guy is? Anybody? He's a great thinker. His name is Socrates. Socrates was afraid of a new technology called writing. He feared it. He said, writing could be the end of man as we know it in our wisdom. If we start writing things down, we could forget how to think. True statement from Socrates. And yet, Plato, right next to him, wrote everything down that Socrates said. So Socrates is immortal today, and he will be remembered forever because Plato wrote it down for him. Isn't that ironic? Or how about this? This is an AI version. These guys are a little creepy in the background. Again, not there yet. But I had to use AI in this talk to show you how it works. But how about when the printing press was created? So Socrates was afraid of the technology that the scribes created, which was writing. And then the scribes were afraid of the technology that the printing press created, which was print. Ironically, the scribes used print to sell this dystopian world of what happens if we print things. So it's a tale as old as time, what we're thinking about here. And so, same thing, steam engine. People thought if you went faster than 30 miles per hour, you could suffocate. So they were fighting against the trains. Imagine that. Can't imagine what they were saying about airplanes. So AI isn't a threat. It's just our evolution. This is our technology. And as humans, we are hardwired to be afraid of what we don't know. Think about this. You're walking in a woods and you come across a cave and it's dark. As a human, you might go, danger, I don't know what's inside, so I'm not going to go in there because I'm afraid. That's part of our survival as humans, and we survive by being afraid. It's our first instinct is to keep us alive. But what if you gather enough information, you educate yourself about the cave, maybe you go in during the day and bring some fire to light it up a little better, and what if inside that cave is a diamond mine? You know, what if you missed that because you were too afraid to try it? The same issues are happening with AI. People are worried about it's taking our jobs, it's going to replace us, it's going to, do all these things. Trust me when I say it's not this. This is the story Hollywood and movies are telling us, right? Humans love story. We have shared belief. What I think is our shared belief today is AI is scary because of what we've seen. And what we've seen has mostly been a dystopian world where AI takes everything from us and we're these really pitiful, dirty humans in the corner trying to scrounge for the rest of humanity. This is real life. So, again, I'm not allowed to technically say through NDA where I work, but you might be able to use a search engine to find the parent company of the driverless taxi that I am working with. Now, this is a sign. It's a little hard to read, but they actually say this in this X building. It's in Silicon Valley, and they say, yo, heads up, robots in training. These robots are like toddlers. Please be careful. They don't know what they're doing. And sure enough, I go into this X building. Literally, that's the name of the building. And these little robots are just bumping into walls, tripping down stairs, running into humans. It was, quite frankly, the most adorable thing I've ever seen. And I just thought, gosh, I'm sitting here working with this AI company since 2020, and their robots are just like these little adorable toddlers that don't know what they're doing. And then this guy right here, he looks pretty legit, right? Guess what this guy's job is? He returns dishes after all of the engineers are done with their lunches. So that's robots taking over our world, or are they taking the tasks we don't want? So what I want to make sure that you take away today is if we start engaging with technology in a sense that we start to let it help us with things and work with us on things, working with AI in programs where it can create stuff with us, how many in this room have actually engaged with AI so far? Show of hands. Okay, so we've got some work to do. Now, you want to make sure you don't outsource what makes us human. If you engage with AI, I want you to challenge it back. I want you to keep saying, hey, I like what you did there, ChatGPT, but I think maybe let's try this way. Let's try something else. Challenge it back and bring your humanity so AI can learn from us, because here's the problem. The real threat is our apathy. The real threat is us just laying there, keeping it easy, like the movie WALL-E, if anyone's seen that on Pixar, letting the machines do all the work for us. That's the real threat, okay? It's not working with the machines. And so we must awaken our core intelligence. Now, we have IQ, which is how you measure how smart someone is. And then we have social intelligence, which is how you go and socialize with someone, how you pick up on their mimicry, how you connect with humans. And then we have EQ over here. I'll step out of the way if I'm blocking it. Emotional intelligence. This is our empathy. This is the agent who's a real person that cares about you and wants to make sure you're okay. And then what I've talked about today is our ancient intelligence, which is our culture, our story, our shared beliefs. We must awaken all of these. And so together, we transcend. Like thinking of the Incans, how they created 25,000 miles of road and wove these bridges without actual technology. They didn't have a wheel. They didn't have horses. Think about what humans are capable of. NASA, for the Mars and Moon example earlier, absolutely love that presentation, by the way. It was so fascinating. NASA basically got us to the moon with nothing more than the power of a cell phone. Like your cell phone right now has more computing power than the computer they used to put a man on the moon. So losing our story, we lose our edge. The Roman Empire fell. And guess what happened? No one told the story of their technology, so it was lost forever. Until about the Middle Ages, right around the Renaissance, they found a lot of the research that was somewhere hidden, and they found, they created more of the technology the Romans had back in the day. So, but also what happens if someone in the wrong place tells the wrong story? Okay, everybody, I'm not going to be the expert on the story, but the story of El Dorado. What is it about? Story of El Dorado. Victor, what is it about? See it in Spanish, the El Dorado. It is, yeah, so basically, El Dorado was the Muiscas they would send their chieftain out into the lake, powdered in gold, and as an offering to the gods, he would jump in and the gold would go into the lake. The problem was the story from the Spanish conquistadors was told wrong. They said, oh, it's the legend of gold. This is the land has gold. So we must drain the lakes. They drained them twice to find this gold. But it was a legend. It was the wrong story. So it can be dangerous too. So AI's story is a little bit distorted. Right now, AI is being told by technology engineers and billionaires. It's being told by venture capitalist firms who want you to buy into the product. It's not being told by everyone every day because most people still don't fully understand its capabilities or its potential. So we need to say, it doesn't replace our intelligence, but it amplifies us as humans and what we are capable of. That is the story that we need to give AI. So we can embrace it in a way that we can showcase. So YouTube, they need AI more than ever right now, or they need humans, AI does, because their algorithm for searching has gotten so bad that a lot of those mass shootings that happened in the United States with the boys who were online all the time, the algorithm in YouTube would see if they were searching for a game, it would then send them to anti-female websites, and then it would then send them to all these conspiracy theories, and next thing you know, you're exposing these very vulnerable, very easily influenced people in the wrong way. So we have to put the human and the humanity back into AI. And so what we need is to be a part of this story, okay? So the fifth intelligence is humans and all of our power plus AI. And using AI in a way to enhance what we're capable of doing, not to detract from it, not to change who we are. So imagine this. Imagine you've got a doctor who's seeing you about a medical situation. Maybe it's cancer, maybe it's something else. And the doctor has all of the research at his fingertips, but not just like how we can search engine it with like a Google search. It's more tailored and specific, but then he can catch the part that IBM Watson didn't. He can say, from my wisdom, from my experience, and as I love how Adam, one of our presenters later today, the faults that you have, the mistakes that you make in our humanity are really what make us the wise ones, because we learn and we grow from that. And it's so special. So we've got a doctor, we've got a teacher. Let's say the teacher could create a learning program based upon the skill level of each child in the classroom. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And it could use AI, not be afraid of it. My mom's a teacher, and I asked her, I said, are you afraid that kids are just going to use AI to write their papers? And she goes, I hope they do. But we will use a program that we say, you use AI, so now you have to do better. We know we expect you to use it, so now write it even better. Because now you have all the research, now you have all the synthesis and the programming at your fingertips. What can you do from here? And our painter or an artist can pull from theories or design concepts from all across ancient times to apply it to their common, paintings that they're doing. So one famous human plus AI example was Kasparov is a famous chess player. And same Watson, IBM Watson, we'll pick on him today, beat him at chess. And it was a big deal because this guy had never lost. He had been doing chess matches his entire life, and he was undefeated. And then comes IBM Watson, beats him at the game. So instead of feeling sorry for himself and instead of giving up, he said, okay, I get it. This is a very talented machine. So I am going to create centaur chess, which is humans plus computers playing chess. And guess what happened? not only did he go back and beat the machine by itself, but then he gave this program to very junior level chess players who were very new to the game. And they used the program that he created and also beat the computer, and they also beat the best chess players in the world. So it just goes to show that as humans working in concert with AI, we can become almost unstoppable. And this is another competitor of mine, but that's okay. I want you to see behind the scenes. Everyone thinks these driverless cars are scary, but I want you to know and feel safe. Again, not my company. I like talking about competitors. It's easier. But this is the control center behind the scenes. It's safe. There's like 25 humans per car that's on the road. So I want to know who at Cruise drove the car away. And so at the end of it, we just have to think, if we truly want to evolve, we have to embrace our future and what's coming at us and not run scared and know that this technology that's coming to us, we are not new to new technologies coming our way. We just have to become more aware and embrace them. And so for everybody interested, this is kind of my digital twin. It's a GPT within ChatGPT, and I spent the last 6 months training it on how to brainstorm and collaborate with humans. So there's a little bit more humanity programmed into this ChatGPT, and you can only get it from this link. So if you want it, grab it now. But as for that, that's my talk, and I look forward to answering a few questions. If they're in Spanish, be patient with me. But thank you.
Muchas gracias, Regan. Increíble también todas estas conversaciones, no del futuro, sino de ahora. Vuelvo y los invito a que se inscriban a Slido. El código es WORKTECH-Bogotá o -BOG, perdón. Sus preguntas para que podamos escoger las 3 de más votación y Regan nos ayuda a responderlas. Vamos con la primera. ¿El uso de inteligencia artificial se observa como algo individual? ¿Cómo lo conviertes en una experiencia colectiva?
It's important as we learn to use AI individually to also make sure that we start to bring it to the workplace and we start to collectively work together while we use it. And so one of the things I've noticed is a lot of people don't like to admit sometimes when they've used AI for a project or a program. And I think that to work together, we have to openly say, we're going to use AI on this project. Here's how we're going to use it, and have some parameters, but also have an understanding. Because that's how you create comfort and you create more of a reality of using AI in general. In fact, I will openly admit, I created my entire presentation using AI as well as coworkers. So I used humans plus AI to make this presentation. There was a lot of great insights that I would have missed out on, quite frankly.
Thank you. La siguiente pregunta en el tope de votación es, ¿la inteligencia artificial depende de cosas tan susceptibles como la energía o la Internet? ¿Cómo se podría confiar en algo tan vulnerable, nuestro próximo paso evolutivo?
Well, it's already there. All the information that we're scared of sharing, everyone has a phone, right? Have you ever gotten an ad from a social media account on something you were talking about in the house? If you use a microphone at any time on your phone, it can hear you. So it already exists. So we need to know that. We've already given the permissions when we got a cell phone, when we got an iPad or a laptop. So now we just need to work on the governance of AI, which is a whole new chapter. I am married to an attorney, and he does lots of research on our protections and creating like a wall to say, this is not okay. In Los Angeles, the Hollywood Screen Actors Guild, the writers for the movies, they had a huge picket against their voices being used to write AI-written shows. And so now it is illegal to do that. So that is one way that you can control it better. But the trust part, AI already has exposure to everything that's on the internet and everything that's in our phones. So just be aware that it's already happening. So how do we start to continue to build parameters and limits?
Gracias. Y nuestra tercera y última pregunta, ¿cómo hacer que los colegas se interesen en usar inteligencia artificial como herramienta de trabajo?
Okay, so I think if you can show and showcase some of the programs, I'm happy to send to contract workplaces. I wrote a list of some apps and some prompts and some available trainings. And to even showcase to your coworkers something fun, you know, one of my favorite new programs is Runway ML. And if you start to learn how to prompt, it created all of the movement in my slides. So it took any image that I had to generate the image, but then it could turn it into a video. And that was cool, right? And so when you do things simple and fun to start, don't freak them out. Keep it slow, you know, one piece at a time. I test this out on my parents because they're not as technology savvy, but they're open to seeing. So if it's okay with your parents, your friends will probably be open to it too.
Muchas gracias, Regan. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. You may give it back here.
Un aplauso por esta charla.